What is up, Need for Speed racers? It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut, and we are here today with the base builds, B, A, A+, S, and S+, all wrapped up into one video. So if you want to go drift a 180SX, we've got it for you. All road setups today, no off-road stuff. These are all made by SlideQT. He is the resident Cornnut crew drifter. We've got a handful of other guys that drive drift, but he is the fastest guy in the group. And so when he sets a build, him and Neil get together, usually deliberate on what the best parts are, Slide runs it, and they come out with bangers all the way across the board. So we've got them all for you. So if you'd like to run some record-setting pace cars, we've got them here. Slide yesterday held the world record on Old Town Road for about 5 minutes until Hex went and beat it in a grip build, and I don't know if they're going to throw it back or not, but then Koi's came and he bested their time by about a second. So it was just like they were just stacking on top of each other, just throwing it back and forth, and it's been a lot of fun. So you might check out those videos. We're having a great time over here. A lot of shade being thrown, but we're keeping it on the up and up. Let me bring you this B-class build. I think if you guys are learning how to drift, this is a good place to start. B and A are slow enough that you can get your turn entry and everything. As you progress through the tiers, you're entering your corners faster, and it's a little tougher to control. So if you're wanting to dig into it and learn how to drift, I would probably recommend that. Let's go. Let me show you what I got. Slide builds the B-Class 180SX with the second engine. It is the 2.0 liter inline 4. That is the Iron Basic engine, 202 brake horsepower when we start. For the parts, you're going to run Iron Basic for the first 4. So that is Iron Basic induction, Iron Basic ECU, Iron Basic fuel system, and Iron Basic exhaust. Then you slap in an Elite Platinum screw supercharger, Sport Bronze nitrous. For the chassis, you are running Elite Platinum road suspension, Silver Pro brakes, and Elite Platinum grip tires, Iron Basic clutch, and then you are running the Sport Bronze 5-speed transmission. He runs an Elite Platinum differential. You can get away with just the Sport Bronze, but he runs Elite Platinum in all his builds, so you might just look into that, you guys. Auxiliary nitrous drift and nitrous grip. So depending on if you're micro drifting or full drifting, you're getting the most out of that boost, so that way you can maximize your corner entry and exit, get your resources going, get that blue NOS and that yellow NOS, or yellow boost. For the handling, slide the slider to the right, 40% drift on the B-Class build. Steering sensitivity, he runs it all the way low. He says in B-Class, that's where he likes it, so we're running all the way low on this one. Downforce, also all the way low. Traction control off, drift entry, he runs gas tap. He said if you're not comfortable with gas tap yet, maybe you're doing brake tap, switch it so it does both. Because when you're in a straight line and you're needing to carry that bar of boost into the next corner, being able to just tap the gas while you're turning a little bit will extend that bar out and help you with that. So if you're running just brake tap and you're wanting to learn to drift, you might switch to both and then transition into gas tap. But that is going to give you the B-Class 158 180SX. 152 is the top speed, 250 brake horsepower, and 258 on the torque. It's a good car, it's easy to control, it's really a good place to start for you beginner drifters out there, or for anybody that wants to be competitive B-Class drifting. This is what Slide runs, and he's got some crew records in it, so he's definitely hauling out there, you guys. Let's move on to A-Class. A-Class 180SX. Now, this is already been shown yesterday. The build has not changed. We haven't developed anything further, but it is very consistent, it's very predictable, and for new drifters alike, this is a great place to go. Let me show you what we've got. A little side note, the beat right now is called Cobra, and that is by Unc RC. He's been back in my beats for the last month almost, and it's awesome. He writes all kinds of music and puts that out for me, and you really can't find it anywhere else other than on his SoundCloud and on all the Cornnut build videos. So it's really cool. We've got somebody writing music. We've got other guys doing thumbnails for me, which is Lex. I got a bunch of mods on the mod team, and really we're just a collective group out here. So even if I don't acknowledge everybody by name, everybody knows who they are, and at the end of the day, it is a we, it is not a me, and it is a wonderful thing to be experiencing all of these wonderful people around me, and we're running deep. So if you want to come and hang out with us, run with us, race with us, and set a time in the Copium series, we'd love to have you. Join the Discord down below, and come and race. That's what we're here for. That's what the game's about, racing, so that's what we're doing. Let's go, A-Class. The engine for the A-Class build, same as yesterday. 2.0 liter inline 4, 306 brake horsepower when you start. That is the Sport Bronze engine. It is the 5th motor over, so you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the parts, you're running Sport Bronze for the first 4 parts. So that is Sport Bronze induction, Sport Bronze ECU, Sport Bronze fuel system, and Sport Bronze exhaust. And then we slap in a gold Super Roots supercharger. And then a Sport Bronze bottle of nitrous. Elite Platinum road suspension, Silver Pro brakes, and then Elite Platinum grip tires. Iron Basic clutch, Sport Bronze 5-speed transmission, Elite Platinum diff. Like I've said before, you can get away with just the bronze diff if you're balling on a budget. Nitrous drift and nitrous grip are the auxiliaries that he runs. I had a Freudian slip the other day. I was in bad habit mode and I said that he runs nitrous near miss, and we haven't run near miss in like 2-3 months. For the handling, same as the other setup, within some subtle changes on the steering sensitivity. So run it drift 40%, run the slider to the right. Steering sensitivity. Now, I was running this car myself, so I run it 2 clicks high. Slide says that he's going to recommend everybody run it on the low side. He thinks that's a good place for you guys to be. So if you're looking for a recommendation here, the good drifter says run it low. My special self is running it a couple clicks high, and I don't know what I'm doing out here in this car. Downforce, go all the way high, 2 clicks back. That is a 209. That'll set you up for success. Anything lower downforce than that, it puts it to A+ 210. Traction control off, drift entry, gas tap. Like the B-Class build, guys, if you are working on it, maybe do gas or brake as the default. That'll help you set stuff up, but go with what's best for you. That is the A-Class 209 180SX drift build. 352 brake horsepower, 377 on the torque. Top speed 163. It's good, it's competitive. We got the times to back it up, and it's not just Old Town Road that Slide was going back and forth on. He holds a lot of records in the Cornnut crew in his 180SX at various classes, B, A, A+, and S. And so if you are interested in that, come and drop by. We're out here. We're having fun, and that's what it's about. Let's move on to A+. A+. Now this is a class that is very divided. We've got some times in grip, times in drift, Slides all over the leaderboards for A+. These guys are banging out here. So this is definitely a very well put together car. There's some subtle differences from all the other builds we've done so far, so just kind of pay attention, you guys. We don't want to accidentally have you in the wrong tires or the wrong grip settings or whatever, because they are a little different here, so watch close. For the engine, you are running the very last motor, furthest down the stack to the right. It is the 2.0 liter inline 4, 366 brake horsepower when we start, Sport Bronze engine. For the parts, you are running Sport Bronze induction, Sport Bronze ECU, Silver Pro fuel system, Super Gold exhaust, and Elite Platinum screw supercharger, Sport Bronze nitrous, Elite Platinum road suspension, Silver Pro brakes, and Elite Platinum road tires. Elite Platinum road tires. Just want to double dip on that. Iron Basic clutch, Sport Bronze 5-speed transmission, and Elite Platinum differential is what he runs, but you can get away with just the bronze, you guys. I would recommend at least putting a diff into it. Iron Basic seems like a little sketch to me. Go with what you feel. Auxiliary, nitrous drift, nitrous grip. Let's going to give you the opportunity to micro drift and full drift to get maximum boost out of those corners. Handling, 15% drift is what Slide runs for his build in A+. So take the slider, go right, but only 15%. Steering sensitivity, he runs all the way low, once again. Downforce, all the way high, all the way to the right. Traction control off, drift entry is gas tap. That is going to give you the A+ 180SX. 175 top speed, 467 on the horsepower, and 498 on that torque. It's a very well put together car. This one's pretty rowdy. I had trouble driving it, so I just put all the settings back and I just bring it to you guys. I'm no drifter. I'm a gripper for sure. It seems more consistent, especially with all the other games that I play and real life racing experience and everything else. Sideways is not how I roll. Eats up the tires too much. So we keep it pretty grip it and rip it over here. It's gonna give you A+. Let's move on to S. S Drift 180SX. Slide says that S is a little harder in some cases because if you do get tapped by other cars, that can ruin your 3-bar and your 2 bars or your boost generation. That's the same across the board for anything, but S, there's a lot of other cars that launch a little harder and the lines get tripped up a lot in this class. So be aware of that when you're learning to drift, you guys. If you can get isolated when you're learning these things, it'll be easier for you. That's the real difference between a drift setup and a grip setup. If you are drifting, you've got to have your line, and if somebody touches you, you're kind of dundee. So in a pack format, tournament format, race format, drifting does have that downside to run with. But like we've seen Slide run, he's fast as hell, and it is awesome to have him out here running these things and bringing the builds to us. Let's dig into S. The engine that you run in the S-Class build is all the way to the right. It is the last engine, is the 2.0 liter inline 4, 366 brake horsepower when we start. That is the Sport Bronze engine. For the parts, Elite Platinum across the board. So you are running Elite Platinum induction, Elite Platinum ECU, Elite Platinum fuel system, and Elite Platinum exhaust. Elite Platinum screw supercharger, and Pro Silver nitrous. Elite Platinum road suspension, Silver Pro brakes, and Elite Platinum road tires. A lot of similarities with the A+ build. Iron basic clutch, and then you are running the Sport Bronze 5-speed transmission. Elite Platinum diff, you can get away with just the bronze. Auxiliary nitrous drift, nitrous grip. That is going to give you the S328 is how he's got it set up because he couldn't add any more parts. Let me show you the handling. He runs 40% drift on the S-Class build. So run it to the right, 40%. Steering sensitivity all the way low. Downforce all the way high. Traction control off. Drift entry is gas tap. Guys, maybe try gas and brake tap if you're learning this stuff. Get you hooked up. 192 is the top speed. 640 on the horsepower and 627 on the torque. It's a monster. I love the way this car looks in that red. I like, honestly, the way this car looks in general. Drift missile status. Let's go. Let's move on to S+. Here we are, S+. I'm here at the buy screen because there is a little bit different way to set up your drift car for S+, and so I wanted to start here so we can work our way into the final version. So basically, start and end with a Koenigsegg Regera because you do not drift in S+ class. I went to Slide, I was like, hey man, you sent me your builds, I never got the S+ one. He goes, oh no, we don't drift S+. It's not a thing. I'm like, okay, got it, cool. It's all about the Regera, guys. S+ is fast enough with everything set up the way it is. It just, you don't slide the cars around. And the 180SX doesn't get tuned into S+. It was pretty capped out at the top of S, as you guys saw. Like, we were Elite Platinum across the board. So that's really, the drift cars start to fall off as you go faster, and the Regera just dominates everything on the timesheet. Our man Seikei's got like every single crew record in S Plus with a Regera. And if you want a real challenge, like you want to see where you stack up as a driver, go run Apex Predator. Just do the best you can in any car you can. And then when you think you've got it down, compare your times with Seikei and then run it in a Regera. That guy is an alien, and it is amazing to see some of the times that he is set. But we don't showcase a lot of S Plus over here because it's stale. It's one car all the time. But it's still there. It's part of the game. And so we are all encompassing. We've got it all taken care of. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We are growing over here on the Cornnut crew. Copium series is live. Watch that video. Grab yourself a Beetle. Go run Rat Race and set a time. Anybody can participate. I've already got 5 splits, which are groups of 5, so 25 participants, and it's been live for a day and a half. So like we are banging on that, and it is awesome for the growth that we're having. It's entry level. Anybody can get in. Literally just set a time, screenshot it. You can email it to me or hit me up in Discord or put it in the channel, and my mods will scrub it really quickly. The idea is you know your time, but nobody else knows your time. And so nobody knows what they're really competing against or who they're competing against until after everything's been submitted and I split everybody up. And so it's fun, do the best that you can. And this is really designed for the newer players, the guys that get to play maybe once or twice a week, the dad that gets a couple hours in the afternoon on a Saturday because he's been sweating his butt off at work and just doesn't have the energy to play. This is for those guys. The sweaty tryhards, there's a lot of places that we can go and race. But for the guys that only get a little bit of action here and there, it's hard to get into a competitive format. This is that series. Check out that video. I could talk for an hour on that because I'm really passionate about it, but no reason to draw out the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.